Happy Pirate Wednesday, everybody. My name is Alex.
My name is Esther.
I'm Gigi.
And I'm Elijah.
And we're here to remind you what day it is. So, right now, I'm getting snow up in Vermont. It's probably about 30-something degrees out there. Perfect temperature for a little bit of flurries. What is the temperature down in Rhode Island right now?
Well, around us, it hasn't been... in the mornings, it'll get that cold, but it's still been staying around, the low 40s for the most part.
The times I'm outside is usually in the 30s.
Oh, well... Not quite cold enough to get the snow for whatever reason. We've gotten a little bit of rain, but...
Yeah.
Otherwise, actually pretty nice weather around here so far. This weekend was beautiful. Well, this weekend was really nice.
Sure,
what was it?
It's still cold.
Oh, well, okay. Well, this time of year you can't
Yeah,
really
it's a little
avoid
too
that
cold
part.
for me, Elisha.
Fine. Next time I will change the weather for you. Is that what you'd prefer?
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. I'm a good big brother. Yeah, no, the weather's beautiful. Well, not beautiful, but it's could be worse. As always, with one of our classic segments, we'll be moving on to New This Week. And for the rare instance that we have a new person listening, New This Week is where we talk about something either new we learned or new we did this past week. So who would like to start off?
Oh, I know what I did this week that's new.
What'd you do?
Okay.
So the other day I went to the grand opening of Frisky Fries.
Oh, yeah, I saw that on Facebook. I have no flippin' clue what that is.
Frisky Fries is, it's like a take-out kind of, not fast food, but I don't know, it's like a little shop and they sell french fries. And they just sell french fries, but they dress them up in different ways. So you've got all sorts of different stuff on them. And I got dessert fries. And the fries that I got were, I forgot what they're called, but they're like cinnamon sugar coated, and they had whipped cream on the top and this edible glitter. So they looked super, super cool.
That's really, really weird, but it sounds kind of cool, actually. I do remember, I think it was Sam posted some picture with fries with whipped cream on them, which I thought was weird, but kind of cool.
Yeah. I saw that. I was really confused.
So my new this week, did a few interesting new things this week, but something new I actually learned this week is that our cousin David, Alex, and myself illegally slept in a murder forest a couple years ago, and I'm just finding this out now.
What?
What?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Alex doesn't know.
So I have another friend, Alex, who I've been hanging out with a lot lately, and
So it's not the real?
No. It is the real Alex. It's the regular brother Alex, but she likes going on various hikes, and we went to go hike in the Freetown Forest over in Fall River, which is the same place that Alex, David, and myself camped at overnight. Had a little forest fire and everything. Not forest fire, campfire. There's a big difference between the two.
Yeah, big difference
little
there.
forest fire. But
Smokey
yeah,
the
so
Bear would be really
after
disappointed.
Alex, yeah, no, well, we're good about controlling the fire, but anyhow, so a couple years ago, after Alex graduated, the three of us went out on a manly little hike in the woods and slept out in the woods and had fun with it. Well, so while hanging out with Alex,
I believe this was the night of my graduation.
There you go. That's what it was. Yeah, it was that same night. You're right. And
Yep.
so come to find out, while I was walking with her and some of her friends, she was telling me about how that particular forest is actually very well known for murderers who hide dead bodies there, like super well known for it. That along with a lot of like other weird like creepy shit, like a lot of like satanic rituals and just like weird stuff goes on all the time. Like it's known as like one of the most like haunted like forests in New England or something like that.
Have you told David yet?
I have not told David yet. Also, in addition to that, on the more like grounded sort of side of things, it's also very, very illegal to be starting a campfire or a forest fire, even a little one, but two, sleeping overnight there. Like I went to the main like office where we had parked last time, and there's so many signs that say no overnight parking and no overnight camping. So I have no idea how we got away with that. And I also have no idea how we didn't get murdered. But, yeah. It was a fun hike, though. The weather ended up being really good. And we kind of got lost a little bit accidentally. Because...
Did you find any dead bodies?
We didn't find any dead bodies. We did find some teenagers getting high. But other than that...
that counts.
I don't remember that part.
Dead bodies.
Well, no. This time.
I remember the teenagers.
No, last time I don't remember finding any teenagers. This past weekend when I went, just some teenagers getting high, and a lot of dirt bike riders. We accidentally started taking some of the dirt bike trails initially, because we got them confused with the regular trails, and then we kept wondering why there were so many dirt bikes driving past us, and we kind of figured it out eventually. Suffice it to say, my friend Alex is not very good. Well, is very good at getting us lost in the woods, which I guess is a special kind of skill. Because this is actually the second time we've gotten lost in the woods. Only like little lost. More like in the woods, not sure where we're going. I think that might still be lost. Anyhow, so how about Juji or Alex? Do you guys have a new this week?
I don't think so.
Nothing. Not even. Not
Just
even.
same old.
Like something new you learned in one of your classes.
Oh wait, I think I did something. I saw Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, you did. You did. Don't give any spoilers because I want to see that and I've heard good things. But what'd you think?
Oh, it was really funny.
Oh, good. Good. That's what I was hoping from it.
Yeah.
Cool story.
He said not to give spoilers, so I have nothing else to say, really.
That's fair. So, we currently are, as mentioned possibly earlier in the podcast, Alex is currently experiencing some snowy weather. Oh, and he's joining us just now. All right.
Yeah,
Alex,
I just heard you say that.
What is your new this week?
If this even works, if you guys hear me. Ah, crap.
What?
I don't know. I really don't have anything.
This is literally a segment we have every week, and somehow, like, you guys just always are like, oh, that's
I
right.
have a good segment to do
This time or in the future?
this time.
Oh, this time?
Yes, I do.
Oh boy. Alright. Well, Alex still needs a new thing. I guess Alex's thing is that he is getting snow while living up at the camp for the first time. How about that? Is that good news this week, Alex?
Let's take that as a yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that as a yes. Alright, so Esther, what is your new segment
All
idea?
right, so new segment. And I don't know if you're gonna like talk about this topic at all, but this next week is Thanksgiving. Actually, no, this week.
Yeah, it's this week.
All right, yeah. So this Thursday is Thanksgiving. That's interesting. Thanksgiving is a thankful day based off of non-thankful events.
Yeah.
Anyways, but my question for all of us is, what is your favorite Thanksgiving food?
Oh.
One item.
Oh gosh. Pie.
But it has to
Damn
be.
it,
It has to be
Juge.
specific.
No,
it has
you
to be
said one item.
specific. No, I know, but it has.
Juji steals my idea every time. Anytime we have
It
something like
has
this.
to be specific, so the
I'm so
kind of
upset.
Okay,
pie.
fine. You can say pie, and I'll say cranberry sauce.
I knew you were gonna say Gigi likes
That's
the
fine, 'cause
canned
that-
cranberry sauce, the one
Ugh.
that's shaped like a can.
I can't. I can't stand that stuff. I like cranberry juice. I like craisins. I do not like cranberry sauce.
What's your favorite pie though?
That's fine. More for me.
Yeah, Alicia.
Fair. Probably apple pie is kind of like a go-to classic. I do love pumpkin pie. I really like so many pies. I like strawberry rhubarb. I like blueberry pie. I like blackberry pie. God,
Okay, your favorite.
it's like
your favorite
hardest
Thanksgiving
decision
pie.
ever.
Alicia, your favorite Thanksgiving pie.
Well, I mean, pumpkin pie seems to be like a classic Thanksgiving pie. Like I don't, there's no real Thanksgiving that goes by that doesn't involve like at least a pumpkin pie. Whether or not I can eat it varies, but there's always at least one. So I guess pumpkin pie, if it's a Thanksgiving one.
Wow.
Yeah. What about you, Esther?
What about Alex?
I would have to say pumpkin pie.
That's your all-time favorite?
It's good for like Thanksgiving, but it's got to have like whipped cream on
So,
top.
but-
Otherwise, it's a little too dry.
Hey, what about apple pie?
Well, as I said before, I liked apple pie, but then you guys challenged that.
No, apple pie can be a Thanksgiving pie though.
Well, yeah, I mean, any like food can technically be something you eat on Thanksgiving.
It's got to flow with the palate, though. You know, the turkey and the mashed potatoes and
And the pumpkin.
yeah, pumpkins.
Alright.
There we go.
What about
So
you,
I
Esther?
think we've clarified that
'Cause-
pie is a good
because
thing to have
Uh,
on Thanksgiving.
otherwise, I would pick like key lime pie or something like that. You know.
Yeah, I think we can unanimously agree that while key lime pie is fantastic, it is also definitely not a Thanksgiving pie. I think you actually
Yeah.
found one that isn't a Thanksgiving pie.
Shepherd's pie.
I mean, I'd still eat on Thanksgiving, but
Well, no, I would totally as well. Like if someone offered me key lime pie on Thanksgiving, I would eat it. I made little key lime pies this summer actually, like with actual key limes and everything. They're good.
I remember.
Oh yeah, you got a chance to have one.
I did.
wait, were these limes imported from Florida Keys?
Maybe. I don't know.
Is that where the key comes from key lime pie?
I'm guessing they weren't key shaped, so that would be my only other guess. Is
But you know, it's weird because I've never thought of that before. It's never crossed my mind.
no, I always ignored the key part. Like I would say key lime pie, but like I always ignored the fact that they were completely different types of limes until I actually had to make a pie myself, and I realized they were actually very little limes. Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Yeah, those are good.
All right, so I'm going to answer this question now. So this is hard for me because I like all the food that you get at Thanksgiving, I like it together. Like I mix it up on the plate and eat it all at the same time. I love that.
All right.
Like, you know, people are like, oh, Thanksgiving sandwich, and they stick everything together, and they just kind of like mix it up.
Yeah,
They
you mean
throw it,
weirdos.
slap it on a piece of bread. That's what I like. But if I had to choose like a very specific thing, I'd probably say mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes are good.
Yeah. Just because they're good in general, but I feel like on Thanksgiving they're extra good.
I can
Because
see
they're
that.
made specifically like to be good on Thanksgiving. I like the way my mom makes them. You can make them bad too.
Oh, you can definitely make mashed potatoes bad.
What's your least favorite Thanksgiving food?
cranberry sauce.
Canned cranberry sauce. Actually, I like that sauce. I do. It's my guilty pleasure.
Yeah, you should feel guilty for that.
My least is probably turkey, because I'm a vegetarian.
There you go. You
Right.
vegans and vegetarians always having to mention it.
Yeah. The question was, what's my least favorite? And I said turkey.
I'm
I
just
don't
being
like
a pain.
turkey in general. I think it's too dry.
Yeah, I'm not very big on turkey.
Well,
So I usually have like chicken wings instead.
Judy, that's because you're picky.
well,
you
I'm
don't have real
currently
tastes.
making a cranberry apple brined turkey this year, so hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully it turns out pretty good.
I'll eat the wings or the legs.
I really like stuffing, but I didn't start liking it until like the year before I became allergic to gluten. So
Well,
The
you
year,
realize
like-
you realize you're allergic to gluten. You should say.
but so we used to eat at our neighbor's house. We used to have Thanksgiving there, so we had a lot of Portuguese Thanksgiving foods, and I really liked the way
I
she made her
miss Portuguese
stuffing.
stuffing. Yeah.
It was so, and I didn't like it for like the first 13 years of my life, and then all of a sudden I had it, and I just loved it. But then I only had it for like a year, and then I became allergic, or realized I was allergic. So it was really sad.
Yeah, I miss
But yeah.
Portuguese stuffing. Because I also can't have
too.
it because it has cerise in it, and that has milk fat. So that's like a double no. This week, we're going to do a segment we haven't done in a while called Let's Get Real. And this week's question for Let's Get Real is, what is one of the hardest things you've ever had to do? And the point of Let's Get Real is, well, typically we talk about goofy stuff or we rag on each other. Occasionally I like to have a conversation about something, it doesn't fully have to be serious, but something genuine, something really honest. So, again, the question is, what is one of the hardest things you've ever had to do?
Look at Juji.
My God.
Ah.
Not punch Esther.
So one of the hardest things Juji has ever had to do is refrain from punching her sister. No, come on, guys. Think of something in life that you've had to do at some point or another.
I mean, like, this can get sad real quickly, I guess.
Yeah, no, don't worry. I have funny stuff afterwards to kind of balance it all out.
Okay.
Okay, do you guys want me to set the pace?
Yeah. Say something.
Alright.
Sure.
Alright. So Alex was lost there for a moment again, but he's back. So to update.
Lost out to sea.
Yep, lost out to sea in a sea of flurries. So Alex, we're doing the segment Let's Get Real, and the question is, what is one of the hardest things you've ever had to do? And as always with the segment Let's Get Real, it's meant to bring out an honest answer. Whether
And
or not it's
Elisha's
funny.
first.
So I'm going first to kind of set the tone because everyone else is afraid to say something serious. So one of the hardest things I've ever had to do is kind of a combination two-parter. So I'll tell a quick version of the story, but at one point in my life, I was engaged, and I am I'm an old school sort of person where I don't believe in asking for permission because even if they're your children, you don't own them. But I do think it's often respectful to ask for a blessing. I would have gone on with the engagement regardless, but I think it's respectful. So the girl I was dating at the time, who I was going to propose to, her father is an Irish Catholic, and this was his only daughter, an only child, and he was a very and he was a military man, so he was a very very intimidating guy. Plus, like a full head taller than me. And so I showed up to his house one night, knowing that his daughter wouldn't be there at the time, and knocked on the door and asked if I could come in and have a serious conversation with him. And so I sat down face to face, and I told him my intentions. And I was incredibly nervous, and he was totally chill about the whole thing. He was like, "Oh, all right," which was not like I was not expecting him to just be so passive about the whole thing, because that's not how he was in life at all. So that would be the first half of one of the hardest things I've ever done, because the whole build up to that and then actually doing it was just terrifying. And then the second half was, as everyone knows, I am not married, so I did eventually break off the engagement. And I still lived at this apartment for, I think, like a month or so afterwards, and that was really, really, really rough. And largely because in that situation, because I was the one that broke things off, you feel less like you're allowed to be upset. You feel less like you're allowed to kind of still hurt over the decision because you're the one that made it. And then that combined with just knowing that the other person in the next room is in a lot of pain because of you just sucks. And so just making that decision and coming to terms with that after such a long relationship, and after hitting a point where you were engaged and then breaking something like an engagement off, is just, I hope I never have to make a decision like that ever again. So yeah, those are my two-part one of the hardest things, or two of the hardest things I've ever done. So now that the tone is set, what do you guys got for me?
Oh, boy.
I mean, I've never been engaged.
Really could have sworn there was that one time.
And I've never broken it off.
Wait, really?
Because I've never been engaged.
Well, no. I thought you meant that you've
Oh.
never, like, the one,
Yeah,
the
like-
one to break off a relationship.
Technically, I haven't ever breaking up a relationship, unless it was like a short-term thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I realized it wasn't going well. But other than that, I haven't been the one.
I have a good example. It's one of them. Again, it's not supposed to be like the.
Yeah, no,
Like-
it's meant to be just one. I have other hard things I've had to do in my life.
So my story is, I mean, there's several examples of this, but one of the things that I just find really hard to do sometimes is just like saying no or letting down people who you've already committed to, in a certain sense, not a relationship
Yeah.
sense, but in a job sense.
Mhm.
And there's been several times where I've had to kind of step away because I knew the situation was like too bad to continue letting myself go through, and a couple of those times it was just really shitty. You know, it was just like, because you knew you were letting other people down. Like, I'll give my example. So my example is that one time I had said yes to working with this other filmmaker, and it was someone I had worked with in the past on sort of a smaller scale, and he really liked me, and we worked together pretty well. Even though his ways are kind of quirky and the hours were always really terrible for shooting and stuff like that, but he decided he wanted to work with me again. So he's like, hey, I got this project, would you like to help out with it? And so I just like full on went in and started helping him out with this. But then come to find out, like, the hours and the times and just everything about the whole situation was so awkward. I could go into it for like hours because of like how many just little things that I was basically forced into doing. Again, I wasn't getting paid, And that's really, that was the kicker. Because I wasn't getting paid, I just had to say, hey, you know, this isn't worth it. If you're not making money, you know, you're just doing this like for you know, for a friend. I mean, I was still going to school at the time too, so it was like there was like late night shoots, and and like, so I'd have like school the next day. So it just didn't make any sense. And there was like this one time where, because the place that we were shooting was in Plymouth or something, and I think it was like a 2-hour drive. So
Wow.
One night it kind of like ended really late, and the director, the guy who I was like closest with, was like, hey, you know, do you mind if we just like stay here? And one of the things that made me really uncomfortable about like the where we were was the woman who owned the house in Plymouth was like this creep. Like, I spent like too many hours alone with her and like got to know her really well. And I was not comfortable with staying overnight in her house just because of the way she acts. And so I was like, he's like, oh, could you just do it for this one night? And I was just like, I had to tell him, I was like, no, I gotta go home. I gotta go to my own bed. There's no way I'm staying here. I felt so like uncomfortable around her, and this was her home too. So it was just like, you'd have to be there to understand the kind of person she was, but. I don't know. It was very weird. It was just one of those like, why am I doing this? I'm not even getting paid, and I had to step away. But I felt so bad because it was, you know, when you commit to stuff, especially when you're like, we weren't halfway through it, but we were like a quarter of the way through like shooting and stuff, and you commit to it. Everybody's kind of relying on you, and then when you just step out, you just think like, oh my god, everybody must think I'm like a douche, you know. And I mean, whether that's true or not, like, you have to kind of step out for your own reasons. If you're not getting paid and you're spending hours on stuff, you know, and you're putting yourself in awkward situations you don't need to be in, then you gotta do what's good for you, you know.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a hard lesson that I've had to learn in life as well. It's just it's that fine line between doing what's best for you and sticking through with certain things. And at the end of the day, most of the time, it's best to really kind of listen to yourself and figure out when you need to walk away, even when it sucks and you know you're letting down people. It's, I don't know, it's a very tough decision. What about you girls?
I don't know.
Well, it sounded like you had something, Esther.
No, I don't have anything to say.
You had nothing?
No.
I guess any situation where you have to disappoint people and say no is just a hard decision to make.
True. So you don't have any?
Nah.
Wah, wah, wah. You guys are lame. So, song of the week. Does anyone have a pirate song this week?
So I don't have a song, but there's an artist called Que de Pirate.
Oh yeah, she's a French Canadian singer.
Yeah. And well, pirates in the name of the band, or the name.
Yeah, but I never understood that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how about this? Next week, give me a song by her. Just any song. Because the rules are pretty loose on this. Is just if it's a good song and something about either the title of the album or the song or the artist relates to pirates in any way, then it counts.
All right.
So next week, give me a good song by her, and we'll add it to the list. For this week, our song is actually a song called Pirates, by a band called Caravan Palace, off the album Panic. And Caravan Palace, the way I typically describe them is they're like electro swing. So they like swing music, but it has more of a electronic sort of sound to it, and it's just really, really fun music. So I totally recommend it, and that will be going into the playlist that after we reach about 10 songs, I'll probably start posting the link to that on all the social medias. Our last segment of today is listener question. So this one comes from a good friend of mine, Clayton Mashad. We've promoted his podcast a few times on ours, Improv Town. Go check it out. But his question this week is, what job would you want if you had to live under the ocean?
What?
Ooh.
Oh,
I want to feed the whales.
I
Very important job.
Yes. Crucial.
I want to swim with dolphins, and oh wait, actually no, I have a better one.
Okay.
So the job has to be like underwater, right?
Yeah, so you
I wanna-
live under the ocean.
What? Okay. Well, basically, I want to explore like abandoned, sunken ships.
Oh, that's
Are
really
you gonna
cool. That's a really
Try
good
to
idea.
find Amelia Earhart.
Well, no, but there's like even today there's like ships that like it just costs a lot of money to like go down and just go through all the abandoned stuff and like bring things up. So like a lot of stuff is like unsolved. Like there's all these like unsolved mysteries of like abandoned ships. So I think it'd be really cool to have that job.
I'm gonna be a realist here and say that I'd probably be like the guy who like cleans the barnacles off the water suits. just being realistic. That's all. You know.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's what you went to
I'm
college
gonna-
for.
Go treasure hunting.
George, that's my idea.
Technically, it's not.
We're gonna find treasure, huh? Are you gonna find it in a treasure chest randomly buried? No, you're gonna find it in the sunken ships and the pirates.
Well, whatever.
Well, so for me, I don't know. The question is vague enough. I don't know that it has to be a real job. So, if I was living under the ocean, and I had to have a job, I'd have some sort of job where I got to build coral reefs. I think that'd be really cool.
Ooh,
and fun.
that'd be cool. Yeah.
Like if somehow like I could have a job
yeah.
assembling coral reefs. I think that'd be fun.
Juju, how about you can study mermaids?
Sure. Would I be a mermaid?
Why not? Yeah, you're a
Sure.
mermaid.
Yay.
Woo!
I think, Alex, I think we can assign you to clean up the trash pits in the ocean.
Are you talking about like the Pacific trash thing?
Yeah, the Pacific, like, trash continent.
Oh, yeah. What's that called? Yeah, no, I've definitely heard of that, where like all the trash collects in this like one location.
Yeah. Well, they found another one. There's 2 of them now.
There's 2 of them.
Yeah.
They're
It's really bad.
yeah, no, that's
It's
not good.
getting worse.
They're reproducing.
Yeah.
Well, we've lost Alex for a moment anyhow, so we can't make fun of him any longer because it's no fun if he's not listening in. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I know. So, I'd like to thank our 2 listeners, our mom and Uncle Richie, for listening in. Esther, want to tell the folks at home where they can find us and how they can send in listener questions and suggestions?
You can find us on Instagram at Pirate Wednesdays, Facebook Pirate Wednesdays, Twitter at Pirate Wednesday without the S. You can subscribe on SoundCloud, YouTube, all at Pirate Wednesdays, and iTunes at Pirate Wednesdays. And you can also leave questions and rate and subscribe. And you can also leave questions at piratewednesdays@gmail.com.
All right. So this week, I'd actually like to say that since this is our 19th episode, we actually plan on having our mom on next week for our 20th episode as a little 20th episode celebration.
Yay!
Woo! So for those of you who listen in, So a little peek behind the curtain. I know our cousin Marseille definitely listens in, and anyone else who does. Please send in some questions you want to specifically ask our mom. I'm sure the format will be a little bit different for next week to kind of compensate for adding her in. But maybe we'll get a nice Blank Explains Blank where Mom explains something fun that we know she knows nothing about. But anyhow.
Oh, Mom's going to do Blank Explains Blank?
Maybe. We'll see. But until next week, Juji, you want to sign us off?
Don't forget to shave your belly with a rusty razor.